I want to set you up for success by making my expectations clear. This video will present the English C1000 AI policy and explain why it might differ from what is allowed in your other classes. So in every class, your instructors should be letting you know whether their class has a restricted, a conditional, or an open policy regarding the use of generative AI tools. What is considered a generative AI tool? ChatGPT, Quillbot, Cluely, Google Gemini, Google AI Summary, Claude, Midjourney, GitHub Copilot, and Jasper. You can add DeepSeek to that list, and even Grammarly, when you have the advanced settings, is generating language, and that counts as generative AI. The restricted AI policy is restrictive. The use of generative AI is not authorized in this course. All the work that students submit should be their own. Plagiarism is unethically paraphrasing or presenting someone else's words, writing, images, or ideas as if they are one's own without citing or quoting the original source material. This includes work produced with the use of generative AI. In this class, we do not use AI tools at any stage of the work process for any assignment. This policy applies to all formats, written, visual, audio, and video, and all assignments, including discussion posts. You might be asking one of these questions. Why? If these tools make my life easier, I'm used to using them, my writing has gotten better, why can't I use them? You might also ask, if I'm going to be using AI in the workplace, why am I not using it now? Or, for many students, they believe that they are terrible writers, or they haven't had much success with writing, or they've had bad experiences with writing, and now with AI, they can kind of mask that, and it helps them to feel less anxious maybe. So I want to address each of these points and help you understand why I am implementing this policy. So let's get to the first question. Easier, better, faster, more efficient. AI certainly offers those possibilities to you. So it's a misconception that generative AI makes it easier to do your work if you think of your work as being the polished final product. But in this class, the product is actually the byproduct of your real work, which is to learn the processes of academic reading, writing, and research. How to generate ideas, read critically, curate research, put ideas together, and adjust your work using judgment and critical thinking. I am looking at the extent to which you participated to the best of your ability in every part of the process, not on how perfect that work turns out. The second misconception is that AI-generated writing is better than what you could write on your own. We'll be considering the ways that generative AI seduces you into thinking that it writes better than you. But for now, we're going to look at two responses to a prompt. So the student was asked, what's the moral theme in The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas? And here in this particular response, it received no credit because it's basically C-level writing. just a summary, has no original or personal insights, has no connections to real life. This student wrote an original answer to the prompt. Yes, it's longer, but that's not the point. So notice how the student relates the claim to their experience. As I sit here in my sunny backyard thinking about my present moment in life, I realize I'm enjoying food that I didn't grow, knowing that farm worker conditions are poor and that many undocumented individuals live in fear of ICE. I am working on a laptop filled with medals that fuel wars in the Congo, yet I need it to complete my schoolwork. And then the student goes on to show various ways in real life where happiness comes at an ethical price. And this student received a much better score. The second concern is that you will somehow not be trained for the kinds of work you're going to encounter once you graduate. So one thing I want to clear up is that college is not only job training. If you were in a job training program, there wouldn't be general ed requirements. So yes, it helps you have more opportunities, but there's also a way that having a college-educated population contributes to the civic good. Civic meaning the ways that people live together and make decisions and work for the common good. So college is supposed to produce critical thinkers. Students are being trained to not accept the first answer, to not always take the easy way, to have a foundation of tools to question reality and decide whether or not their circumstances and the things that they observe in the world are in accordance with their values. A article in the New York Times makes the point that by focusing on a skill, you might be making yourself obsolete before you graduate. But things like intellectual dexterity and powers of judgment have enduring relevance. If you have the capacity to think and act well as a free person, then that is the lasting value of a college education, no matter what kind of job you get. The last concern I want to address is students who feel that their writing is not up to par and that they're going to be perhaps shamed or embarrassed or somehow caught out if they don't use AI to help polish their writing. Everyone struggles with some aspect of writing. And I want you to think about this as an opportunity where you have so many free available resources to help you to feel more confident in expressing your ideas. I'm hoping that there is an embedded tutor in our class. I haven't found out for sure. You have a very helpful professor who cares about your learning and is available for all of your questions. You will have opportunities to revise, and Cuesta offers a writer's room with either in-person or virtual visits. So I want you to think about all these avenues of help as being something that is expected. It's expected that you will seek them out. So the bottom line is that AI is helpful, and there are cases where it's appropriate to use. But in this class, it's not, because we are focused on process, independent thinking, and building your identity as a writer. Well, you might ask, she'll never know if I use it or not. How could she tell? Well, yeah, I cannot tell 100%, but instead I rely on your past work in the class, my experience with students over 20 years. I will use AI checkers occasionally. And if it seems to me that a piece of writing is AI generated, I just will not accept it as original work, and I'll ask you to resubmit. I only grade work that I feel confident is original. I have limited energy and time, and I don't want to waste it on work that's been produced by AI, because the feedback is not going to be useful. I have an explain your work policy. If I have some concerns about whether or not this is genuinely your own work, I'll ask you to meet with me and talk about it. It's just a conversation where I'll ask you some questions and you'll be able to answer them as long as your work is original. It's not to intimidate or to trick you, but so that I am confident that you have produced the work you're submitting. There are consequences. So the first time you'll receive 0 credit and a conversation and an opportunity to resubmit the assignment for full credit. If there is a second time, let's hope not. Once again, there's no credit. There'll be a check-in with me, and will be filing a misconduct report. So what I want from you this semester is to be authentic, be yourself, be real, be truthful. Our world is already riddled with problems that come with people pretending to be other than who and how they really are. In this class, you have an opportunity to be seen and acknowledged as you, somebody unique and special, not perfect, but trying. We're doing the work together today, so you'll be better thinkers tomorrow. So that's my challenge for you. Thanks for listening.